Delicate getting the first pick. Oh, get three, Pyro, get three with the
Wade Kid putting on a clinic. 14 down. Oh!
Experience tranquility.
Hello, Overwatch fans, and welcome to another night of Tranquility Overwatch. We are here in our Transcendence tier. We have Alpha versus NYAA. This should be a very nice matchup, and actually a really nice season so far for both of these teams. But, I mean, I'm here with Captain Jack. Everyone knows him. Everyone loves him. But, I mean, looking at Alpha right now, how can you not be hyped about this team this season so far?
I mean, you really do gotta be worst. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Alpha has already shown themselves to be the same Alpha that they were last season, that are going for the clean sweep run through Stage 1 and Stage 2. They have not dropped a map so far. They are a positive 12 map differential, 3-0 in Stage 1 right now, and, you know, it hasn't even been close when it comes to these matches. Meanwhile, NYAA are currently sitting at 2-1, positive 8. Took a real thrashing during first week, although it was close with Bird Society Ibis. So I'm hoping that this time around, NYAA has found their inner weebdom. You know, really channeling that anime Dragon Ball Z energy tonight as we get ready to head into Busan and see what they have to deliver.
Yeah, and I mean, a big thing about Tranquility is that we do have that kind of map score favored format where it is the four map kind of thing. And both these teams, I mean, you're kind of doing the best you can for map score 4-0, 4-0, 4-0 for Alpha, obviously, and NYAA, but they did lose 0-4. It was a close match. They did have the rebound, 2 4-0s in a row, so not too much loss there. But again, there is something special I want to point out here. I was asked actually to point this out by the players for Alpha. That's a raccoon, folks. That's not a wolf, as some people might think. That is, in fact, a raccoon.
AKA Trash Panda, as it's more commonly referred to.
Yeah, so it is actually a raccoon. I know some people, some very important people in the community as well may have also thought that was a wolf. It isn't. It is a raccoon, and let me point out. But again, like you said, going over to Busan, and obviously with every control map, I'm pretty sure every control map, it has that kind of like 3 different style map kind of feel to it. I can't think of one off the top of my head that doesn't have that. No, I'm pretty sure all of them have that, where like each different round feels like a completely different style of play. So going in here we go. We're gonna be starting out on Mecha Base, and I mean, for both these teams, I mean, what can you kind of expect coming out on Mecha Base?
Well, I mean, Mecha Base, standard-wise, we are in the Transcendence tier, so we're about as close to the Tier 3 scene as we can get here in Tranquility. So I imagine that these teams are probably going to be running the standard Rush composition with the Rhine Diva. You know, we've been seeing the Cowboy and Ice Wizard in play a lot lately. You know, seeing that May with that extra flashbang and damage coming out from the Peacekeepers. So I'm gonna be really interested to see what all they lock into. Honestly, it looks like they're locked into that perfect composition, that Rush with the Lucio. Gotta have the Lucio for that speed, and the Baptiste coming out from Heart and Zoner. So all it's going to be is about crowd control and positioning. This is a full mirror match, and whoever positions better, whoever finds that first pick, is probably going to be the one to unlock this objective first.
And we see these teams walking up. Which May wall is going to come out first? That's the answer. I mean, that Diva kind of got shredded through that shield. It would seem maybe a little bit of an off angle. There it is, right on top of Luxman, and he will go down. Not much to do there. You You've lost your D.Va mech. There's no DM to keep them safe enough while that wall is being broken down. And this should be a clean point take here for NYAA, and that's the best you can hope for. Like, you lose no one on your side, barely have any opposing ult charge over, and you got a really nice setup on this point.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part for O Canada and Drop, is that when that Mei is being run on either side, it's going to be hard to hold it together. But Deadeye trying to zone out already.
Cosine does find the nice headshot right onto Drop, but is cleaned up quite quickly by Zoner. And now they kind of have to back up. You've lost your McCree, you're on the back foot. Rin, though, unabated, has that cryo ready and available if they need to pop it. And a nice shatter into the corner, stops the Matrix from having any effectiveness, as O Canada trying their best does trade it back. But Candle, with the massive shatter, does secure the fight win once again. And that was kind of really crazy there from Alpha, like a little staggered fight that shouldn't really have happened.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate right there for O Canada getting staggered out like that. It really came down to the positioning of Alpha, right? They really just needed to back up and kind of hold on when it came to coming into this objective. But, you know, maybe they're just not warmed up yet. Maybe they haven't found their rhythm tonight. Let's see if they can do it this time around.
That's a nice wall that Reinhardt should be losing his life. Now it's on here for Alucard to find this high noon and does not find anything. A nice DM from O Canada stops anything from being followed up, but a nice freeze does secure the Blizzard for Nighthawk. Now they're going to be pushing forward. Rin finds the wall, does save their life just now, doesn't have that crowd, will be cleaned up. The bomb is engaged, it zones them all away. They can't follow up on this amazing zoning that's been happening so far. And now the high noon from the upside does find one right before that Maywall does pop up, and now a little bit of a McCree duel here, but doesn't find it. The Cowboy does come out on top here for Alucard. As now Lucksmith on this point now does have that shatter. The wall is going down very shortly. But look at this, he can do himself, and somehow in this fight, it has come on back for Alpha. We'll see if they can clean this up. So far this season, the three matches they played, they haven't lost a control point, a control round. But 95 here for NYAA might be looking to change that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they took him all the way to the edge, and, you know, maybe they're just kind of teasing him a little bit, saying, okay, you know, it's far enough now, not allowed to go any further. You know, Lucksmith using those strats that you see up in the contenders right now with the shields to really get that positioning, and this Ant Matrix gonna go ahead and stave them off for a little bit longer. Bad shatter, though.
3 on the ground and no immortality field to speak of, as it was stuck in the doorway. A nice squash there coming up from O Canada, following with a kill onto that main tank. Let's see if they can trade out their opposite as well. Nope, a little bit of a stagger coming out. Might be looking for the Mei headshot at the end. Nope, just the Boot Pally is going to be collecting that kill there in the kill feed. And now 40% in climbing Alpha, looking to take this round back in their favor.
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing that aggression coming out from Alpha, and it is tempered with the positioning that they now have. Mecha base is so hard to get into, but once you have control, you can hold it for a really long time. And the double fake coming out.
Yeah, Lucksmith charged over to the left side and was behind his team. The shield wasn't there to stop the shatter, and I'm pretty sure that's this round going the way of NYAA, snapping the control point streak so far for Alpha. And can they do it with the map as well? Trying to go in the second round, clear this map out as fast as possible, and see if they can snap that 4-0 run so far. And Alpha, you gotta be thinking here. I mean, they just took that map. How do we change it up going into this next round? It will, in fact, be downtown. Can they maybe look for something different?
Well, I mean, this map is going to be all about the dive. We already see Alpha playing around with the metal dive with the Wrecking Ball D.Va, which has been pretty big as of late. The Winston, of course, can also be super powerful as well. But I'm looking at the support line right now. The difference between the Mercy being used with Nighthawk's Pharah and Zoner on that Ana versus Palico and Hart on that Brig Zen. So Alpha is looking to do a heck of a ton of damage, where NYAA is looking to try to keep their team up for as long as humanly possible to see if they can keep this point in their favor.
Ball there for Candle going on to Cosine, but you're not going to take out that Soldier as the ball solo. I mean, you have the heal pad from the Soldier plus that Brig healing, and Nighthawk finds out their supposed counter right now, and Rin no recall to speak of, has to just back up. You can't really look for anything here. You're gonna have to try and poke from a mid-range, looking for them. Mercy gets them low, half HP, and now Nighthawk's on the case, going back up. It's all here. Oh, Nighthawk find the damage with the shot onto the Tracer. The one shot comes in, and now you can make no leeway on this point if you're Alpha. And even with another amazing shot there from Nighthawk, they've lost their pocket, but they're still a threat. Really can't get anything down, and the D.Va diving onto that Zen should be losing their life quite shortly, and that they do. A really nice job there from Nighthawk. Once those DPS threats are gone, you can't push in if you're Alpha.
No, you absolutely cannot, and NYAA is really showing the power of support right here, but Heart did put in a hero's work because they've already got that Transcendence online, so as long as we're not seeing any staggers coming out from Alpha, they could take this back.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard there if you're stacking your Brig and your Soldier like that. Either of those targets is someone you want to be shooting as Pharah. When the Pharah can get double value by shooting one of them, that's just a recipe for disaster. And right there, you see the Brig going down. You have no more peel for your Zen. You have no more peel for your flankers, basically, because that is the main healing for them. The Transcendence Orb is kind of just a complementary thing. A Harmony Orb is just a complementary thing. It's not the main healing. As we do see Candle dropping the mines onto this Tracer. I don't expect them to die. Ooh, they're almost going down here, but they should get that healing. And Candle kind of wasting those mines. They're trying to zone off that Tracer, and they can't quite find it.
That's absolutely true, and I'm still intrigued as to what they're going to be able to do here. We're already 2/3 of the way to being able to take this map. NYAA is really channeling, like I said earlier, that inner powerful weed. Let's see if this attack visor might save somebody.
I mean, it is almost 80% here. It's 80% here, and this is basically the first push we've really seen for Alpha here. And let's see if they can make headway on this point. They're popping all their ultimates. They've already used 4. The Barrage coming out trying to counter. It should be dying to this bomb, mayhaps. Ooh, I thought that would be just within the hitbox, but not quite. The rally even coming out on point. That's 6 ultimates coming out here for Alpha. I mean, you also used all your ultimate bank there for NYAA as well. But I mean, that's a pretty even trade considering how much time you have to build that bank back up.
That's absolutely true. I mean, look at it, 93-17 right now. It doesn't look like we're seeing any swaps, but that stagger onto Zoner is going to keep NYAA out of play for a little bit longer. Already 25% up there. It's going to be up to Alpha to really hold these chokes, and Canada and Coastline are essentially going to have to play Far Watch right now because Nighthawk is just getting a heck of a ton of value in the sky.
Yeah, that's the thing. You really want your Tracer as well to be helping out with that Feral, but they just can't, right? They have to be on Alucard duty. They have to be sitting on Alucard because otherwise that Pulse Bomb is going straight onto your backline. You have to be the one to fight them out, force up the cooldowns before you can engage them. And look at it, exactly what they're doing. Rain and Alucard are in a duel right now, grabs the health back away from them. Alucard forced to recall, didn't get any health back, just in positioning. Has to run all the way out to this mega health back. Amazing job by Win so far to keep the Tracer out of the fight. 1 HP. No recall, and now look at popping the visor in the Pharah in the air. They can't drop fast enough, and really nice job there. The DPS here for Alpha showing up big, creating pressure. I mean, a big thing is that some people kind of complain. It's like, oh, I can't do anything because I don't have space. But in this composition, your DPS are creating a lot of that pressure for you.
That's absolutely true, and it's going to be up to them to continue to hold that pressure as we get into final fight territory. Alucard is looking for Heart right now. That Transcendence could literally save the day for Alpha, and already you see Alucard is on the hunt and looking for blood.
Oh, the Pulse Bomb! Oh, Canada eats it! Alucard, a win condition for them is now gone. Nighthawk and Zoner. They're gonna have to be looking for something here. The Nano isn't gonna go in for the Barrage, securing the kill on Canada instead. It's gonna be Pally under threat, but Heart is the one to find the Pharah. And now on this point, you're looking at 0 support ults basically, that Nano already having come out into this Transcendence, a complete neutralization of all the damage coming out here. It's gonna be up to Alucard to find something, but no recall and no HP really to speak of, and that's not gonna be much possible. The ball going over, even the health pack getting yoinked away, I believe, and that's Alpha swinging back in this fight after a pretty rough start on this map. They're just showing that they have what it takes to hold down this point.
Yeah, I mean, they're just showing the fact that they're not what's the word I'm looking for? They maybe just weren't as warmed up as they needed to be, or maybe they let NYAA, maybe they played with their food a little bit too long when it came to the mecha base, right? But now we're on Shrine, and this is as you said before, each map of Control is a completely different animal. So it's really going to come down to what both Alpha and NYAA have planned going into this map. NYAA really need to control those tight corners. They're coming in with the rock and roll, that Sigma ball composition, which works really well on Shrine, but it looks like the metal ball's still going to be locked in for Alpha. Let's see if that peel is going to help them out going into the backline.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the biggest difference is that this composition here for NYAA is going to be very slow. If they can't start this point out strong, getting this for capture, it's going to take them a while to retake this point, right? You're going to slowly be pushing up with your Sigma, with your Ashe, taking angles, while the ball is basically just playing disruption with Nighthawk there. Let's see, can they take this first point? Already giving over a little bit, but Lucksmith and Rin both look a little bit too far, and that's the power of this comp. If your enemy makes a mistake, messes up their timing on their dive, messes up like the position or the cooldown usage of the dive, you can take over the fight very quickly with Alucard set up behind this Sigma shield. And they're gonna take that first point, and this is really the perfect start you could think of here for NYAA.
That is true, and it's all about that sustainability, right? Even though both teams have the same amount of heals, Drop just has more in the kit on that Sigma than you're going to see from Lucksmith and Canada. But Rin, with that first pick, might open it right on up for him as they grab the point.
I mean, they lost their brig and then gave over, basically, that flip for free. There was no contest. No one even tried to stop that. They said, Nighthawk, you gotta come back and deal with Ren here, but couldn't stop that point from getting captured. And now, Senate swinging right back over, and this is where you can start seeing some troubles here from NYAA's comp.
Yeah, it's really going to be up to NYAA to figure out how they're going to get past this. But now we're getting ultimates on the line. Alpha does have kind of the advantage here, both in percentage and ultimate charge. So it's going to be NYAA's chance to see if they can get those picks early so that they can create the opening they need to succeed.
Oh, really nice job there from Lucksmith. Unknown from the shadows, just dropping, gets so much ult charge, gets so much damage, so much shielding, and now it's Rin here. Again, this is consistent. We see Rin is the one to force the Nighthawk back, use their cooldowns, and the pulse bomb coming in. I don't think that found anyone quite yet, but looking again for that Zen, and this soldier is over in no man's land, just pelting from a distance. I think it's something that's a little bit untalked about in this soldier versus Ashe matchup, is that soldier, you don't really can't stop him. They can't like hold him down in one spot. He's gonna be running around everywhere he likes, and he's doing that as well, finding damage in so many different places. Nighthawk throwing that pulse bomb, doesn't find anything on that point, and now this is desperate here for look at these ultimates.
Yeah, I mean, they really got to find their way in here. We're heading into the last fight for NYAA to be able to turn this in their favor. Thankfully, they've gotten a little bit of a percentage to help them out, but this big slam coming in from Lucksmith, he's looking to use that minefield to try to zone out the point as much as possible.
Yeah, really nice timing on that slam, finds the bomb, engaged with it, and now it's Sigma on this point. He's now used all his resources, basically. He's just kind of walking around, getting shot at from 4 different angles. He doesn't know where to put that that little gravitic, not gravitic flux, it's ultimate. His little, I'm blanking on names here, but
his shield.
Yeah, everything. You can't put anything in any location.
Yeah.
As that's gonna be Alpha taking that with a nice little reverse 2-0 there. As I fumble my words, Alpha does not fumble the bag on this point. As in fact does take back the 2-0, keeps their map streak at least alive. They did lose their control map win rate though. Did drop one round, but I mean, you'll take it, right? You take it.
I mean, at the end of the day, we really got to think, okay, that's just icing on the cake right there. But I mean, if NYAA keep pulling off moves like we're seeing right there in that play of the game, where they're coming out with double fakes, they're catching Alpha kind of with their pants down or not looking over their shoulder, NYAA's going to continue to get the advantage here. They are known as not your average academy, so might be expecting some of what we've been seeing kind of in the contenders landscape as of late with O1 Esports and those teams that are just kind of not really conventional. They do their own thing. They have a lot of fun doing it, and no team can really prepare for the chaos that they're getting ready to show off.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm gonna be interested to see where they take this next map. It is gonna be Assault. It's gonna be of Hanamura, Temple of Anubis, all Volskaya Industries. Those maps play completely differently, and I mean, where would you expect NYAA to take it?
If I'm thinking, yeah, if they want to run that Farah that we ended up seeing a little bit on downtown, then ideally they're gonna want to take it to Volskaya. It has the highest ceiling, has the most space for a Farah to move around, and you put a good old secondary hit. You can run the Tracer, or you can run kind of a power boosted Ash. Mercy can fly between the two, power boosting each of them. Even play double Sky Princess, where you got the Echo in play as well if you really want to be doling out that damage. But it really just comes down to the play style that NYAA thinks that they feel most at home with. I mean, right now it seems like the best composition that they have is Rush, at least based off their victory on the Mecha base. So I would say that if that is their best composition, Hanamura is probably the place to go. You're able to lock down that choke on point alpha real easily, be able to rotate back to point really quickly if a Symmetra teleporter ends up being used, as they sometimes do, even at the Transcendence level. And then, when it comes down to Objective Bravo, it's the same thing. You're locking down individual choke points that that the enemy team is going to work through. But Alpha just seems ready tonight. It seems like they're warmed up and ready to go, and it looks like we have seen NYAA choose Volskaya Industries for our next map. So go ahead and grab your parkas, folks, and it looks like we might be seeing some fun in the sky as we head on into Volskaya.
Yeah, I mean, any map where I could see Rin and Nighthawk have to go to that Tracer duel, I think should be really comfortable for Alpha. Like, the one map where you saw that they couldn't leverage that fact was quite did work out in NYAA's favor quite well. That's not to say that, like, I love that thing about control point, right? The control where, like, you have one round where it's Rush versus Rush and the other two are different, and you're like, everyone's like, oh, this team running Rush, they should just run Rush the entire time. Obviously, the teams scrim differently. They already have strats prepared for different maps. You don't know what they're comfortable on, that kind of stuff. So I think that's always fun to see that kind of stuff and go, well, that's not going to happen. You're not going to drop every strat you've got and say, we won on Rush at one point, so let's do that. But of course, Volskaya, like you said, I think you kind of nailed it on the head. They look to be looking towards that fair composition, right? I mean, you kind of hit that nail on the head. And but again, I think Rin had been really dominant in that Tracer 1v1 versus both Alucard and versus Nighthawk. I mean, the Rin did a perfect job of, like, forcing out the enemy Tracer, so they couldn't get any value. And Cosine as well just did a really good job of working with that space created by Rin. So that DPS duo right there, their ability to kind of work with each other to make each other shine, I think is something that's really special in Alpha and makes them one of the top Transcendence tier teams, is having that killer DPS duo that knows how to work together in so many different situations.
Yeah, and I mean, we're seeing Cosine locking the legs once again. The Soldier has been making their way back into the scene. Got a little bit of a power boost this last go around with the buffs and the nerfs coming out from the dev team. So I can't say that I'm surprised that they're opting for that over, the McCree or the Ash, because you got to dedicate those extra resources to being able to keep your heroes alive if you got to put that Mercy in.
I mean, look at that. Rin is just on top of it. I mean, and then you have the follow-up from the rest of the team as well. Both the tanks are just like, okay, Tracer found the enemy Tracer, force out the recall, we're diving on top of it. We can't punish this fair Mercy as they're moving across just yet. And that they can't. They're already set up on this high ground. Now, this could be dangerous, right? Obviously, Alucard can get back into this fight quite easily from many different angles. Already back in fact, and fighting Rin once again. Both recalls are forced out. It seems like, oh my goodness! I mean, Rin is just insane on this Tracer. What can you do? And it really comes down to the rest of the team. Now, because Alucard is forcing out resources now in this duels, sometimes, you have to kind of move with that fair, try to push it. But look, the fair is getting forced out by Cosine right now. You can't even achieve anything off the back of Alucard's sacrifice. This is just a strong defense here from Alpha.
Yeah, Alpha just has a great zoning area, and we're seeing drop swapping over to the Diva now. They're actually opting for the Ball Diva going into this objective this time around, or getting that quick reset, but they're going to lose that ult advantage, and Cosine already has control of the high ground.
And he has that tack visor, something that's so deadly for the enemy Fez. And now, again, on the hunt for the Tracer. It seems like every time we come back, it's Rin and Alucard fighting it out. As actually, Zona hits a sleep, forcing O Canada off the map there. You trade out the pulse on Lucksmith. Lucksmith survives. He should be fine. Gonna get a mega health pack right there. Gonna get healed up, and now these ultimates here for Alpha looks pretty strong for holding this point, especially only into that those support ults.
Yeah, it's really going to be up to Rin right now to be zoning out and trying to see if they can get an early pick right there. But Mike taking advantage of here as we go into round 3 of the Tracer.
It's like round 15, honestly. I mean, they're just fighting it out, forcing him away. Cosine does lose his life. A really nice setup there from Nighthawk. Like I said, it's kind of a dual-edged sword. Yes, you're going to have Rin going on and forcing out Alucard, but now we don't have Rin to clean up the rest of this fight. And now Pally, here, doesn't have that... I don't know about that Transcendence. You do have the 4v4, kind of. One of them is out of the fight right now. You're going to be stalling out for that rally, and that's what you're going to get, but you can still get almost like one shot of it. No! Off the map! Amazing job from Drop there. Realizing that you got to get on the soldier, takes him out during the ultimate. Such a high value group right there. And the bomb to follow up. Will this person get out of the way? No! A 3-man bomb! 4-man if you count that mech. That's basically a character off the field. And O Canada fires back here. Gonna be cleaning up this point with the 4K. The ball is in the backline, but nothing they can do. An amazing hold there from Alpha. They give up the tick, but they trade out ults perfectly.
Big old salute. You can't see it, O Canada, but goodness gracious, that bomb was perfect timing right there. That's the unfortunate part about running a dive composition without a Winston, right? You get the extra mobility, but you give up the one thing that really could help you against a thing like a self-destruct, and that is a thin piece of light, that shield right there. And with Cosine Ore taking Tetra out of the fight, this is not looking good.
Too. Oh no, Nighthawk talking over that Echo, trying to get a little bit more mobility out of that character. And Alpha is going to hit the full hold. Not the fullest hold, because it's not like you give up a tick. Give up a tick and almost 2. But that will be the full hold coming out here from Alpha. And that's, I mean, them on this composition look so strong. I mean, you can't mirror it, I don't think. I mean, Rin is insane on that Tracer, and the combination with those tanks as well. It's just... I don't think you can mirror that, or even like semi-mirror that with that Pharah. It seems too good.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing here is a little pride coming out of the Tracer battle right now, because NYAA's Tracer is having such a difficult time taking Rin out of the fight, and it's not even close, right? Even when Rin is at half health, they're still able to survive the fight every single time. So what you need to do is you need to swap up strategy. Don't send the lone Tracer to go battle the lone Tracer. Set up defenses against the enemy Tracer, right? And this is exactly what we're seeing here. Seeing Nighthawk now on the Torbjorn. That turret does more than you know. It really does. Being able to zone out heroes such as Tracer and Sombra at a moment's notice, as soon as they show those cute little cheeks that are coming to clap your cheeks. That turret's already on them, right? And Alucard is going to be coming in. Doesn't have the mercy from Tetra for the power boost, so I'm a little bit concerned about that. But really, you're fighting ground units with ground units, so I'm not so concerned. If we were seeing a Pharah or an Echo, I'd be a little bit more concerned by that. But Alucard, regardless of not having the mercy, is still going to get a lot of value with the Dynamite, going to get a lot of value with the Ashes kit in general. And then you got Bob to throw on the point, and again, no shields. So you're going to be able to kind of have free reign against this team, and it looks like Cosine and Rin are already on the hunt.
Yeah, I mean, you basically give up all map. You don't give it up completely, like you have this Diva over them, as I said, but you basically given up so much map presence because you're just like, we want nothing to do with you on the flanks. Come to us, we will fight you here. And that can be a double-edged sword, right? You have the ability now for the ball to find these really nice angles, the Tracer as well. but it's what they can do with those angles, and it's shut down there by Alucard. A nice headshot. Takes on the fight, but Tetra gets pooped down, I believe, maybe by the ball or the Diva, and is taken out. That's a lot of peel gone, and drop as well. Lost that mech, and Canada saves the mech as well. This has been so good. Look at this ball. Gonna go in. Boom! All these switches off the high ground. Nothing they can do. Actually, the coach got up. Now you don't have a defensive cooldown if that Diva decides to follow. And Zona drops that lamp on the high ground. It's nothing they can do, falling away. Candle trotting back on that horse. Won't even be able to touch this. And I think we've seen why Alpha has been so dominant this early in the season. This seems very hard to like solve, if you know what I mean. Because in a lot of ways, I love seeing this from like a Transcendence tier team, like the top Transcendence tier team, because it's like it just raises the level of competition where it's like you guys have to come to us to fix this, right? And we're gonna see if anyone is able to do so. I don't think NYAA has yet, but we'll see about next map.
Yeah, I mean, it's really coming down to some great coordination from Alpha. We saw this last season as well. You know, they're at the top of their game. They have that coordination, that communication that they're constantly looking for, and it's you know, NYAA's just not there. I mean, you're looking at the roster. There are a few new faces. Maybe there's still some work that needs to be done between the players on the team to really get that cohesion down. But you know, Alpha's really got it on lock right now, and it's going to be exceedingly difficult for NYAA to try to turn things around. So you know, I believe in the beep beep reverse sweep. So I'm gonna do a little thing. Whoa, let's go, NYAA. I want to see a map 5 tonight. Take that first map off of Alpha. Show them that they can bleed. Otherwise, I don't think we're going to be seeing Alpha or seeing anybody take on Alpha to this level probably until we get to the playoffs. And we know how boring that was last time around. It was odd. You just saw Alpha go, and just immediately. So let's see some blood. Let's see some weakness out of Alpha that they can improve upon. But worst until then, we're gonna go ahead and send it to a quick halftime break. We do want to remind you, if you haven't been noticing my beautiful Void shirt right here, I got it at shop.spreadshirt.com/OW Tranquility. I know I'm not NPC, but I'm still gonna shout it out. Anyway, remember this week we've got free shipping. So if you want a t-shirt, if you want the phone case that Mr. Yeti showed on the podcast earlier this week, stuff like that, you can all get at shop.spreadshirt.com anytime, but get free shipping this week. We'll see you all in about 10 minutes with more Overwatch Tranquility.
welcome back everybody to this slobber knocker so far between Alpha and NYAA. The first round was, the first map in Control was quite close. Not so much towards that end there, but definitely in that beginning, it was quite close. And of course, Alpha on Volskaya just showed that they know their composition very, very well. And they know how to play against other compositions with that same comp very, very well as well. And now, we're going to everyone's favorite map, King's Row, and that is a fact. That is everyone's favorite map. It's now your favorite map. If you're listening to this, it is now your favorite map. You can't disagree anymore. You've lost that right to disagree. It's now your favorite map. So, Captain Jack, as your favorite map, what can you kind of think about with these two teams? What can you kind of see coming out here?
Well, you know, Worst, I haven't actually gotten to cast King's Row in a while, so I'm actually pretty happy about that. It's when I have to cast King's Row like 2 times every week that I get a little. It's like, can we do something else, please? But you know, King's Row is the place to go. You know, we know that NYAA has felt most comfortable on that rush composition, right? We were talking about that earlier. You know, I found it a little odd that they picked Volskaya, to be completely honest with you. I thought that they would kind of, you know, really rely on the rush to make it work for them, but you know, they decided, you know, let's try the dive again. Let's see if we can meet them kind of where Alpha is. And no, that didn't work out at all for them, as a matter of fact. So now they're going to go with the tried and true. They're going to go with what is going to work for them. And the best place to take it, if you're going on hybrid, is going to be King's Row. Not saying that the Wrecking Ball Diva can't be run here. Definitely can be. But it'd be really weird if it was.
Hey man, I've seen weirder on King's Row. I mean, there was a time when teams would legitimately, like, map after map, just start running that Bastion sim on this point. Every time. That was when it was Doomfist Reaper, and there was, like, no way the enemy team could get up there to contest it, and you would just see Bastions on Mandata's head every single match, but those days are behind us for now. We don't see that double shield rush abomination that composition was, and instead we have moved over to a more fluid meta right now. But I do expect Ryan Diva a comfort composition for many of us Masters players. I mean, it's just something that happens. You go into a map, you're like, oh, it's King's Row. Someone's gonna lock in either Zarya or Reinhardt, and you're gonna be playing rush. Except if you're Alpha. Because Alpha doesn't care about you or your feelings, Masters players. They'll do what they want, and they'll do what's more optimized. They don't care about your feelings.
I mean, to say that this Wrecking Ball Diva composition is optimized on King's Row, I don't think is the right call, to be completely honest with you. But I mean, it's optimized for Alpha, and that's really what matters at the end of the day. We do see Palico and Rin swapping over to the Far Mercy, though. That's gonna give them a lot more control in the sky. But Alucard got the Cowboy in tow. They're looking for the mirror match, and I'm sorry to say, they're not going to find it. It's not here.
It's gone. Rin took it out back and put it down. It's gone. You won't find it here. Instead, you'll find a rocket to the face, as Alucard finds right there. But a really nice job there from the Cowboy to take out that Tracer, the pesky Brit, no longer in that backline. Instead, going to be Alucard on this front line, wreaking havoc right now. That ball, Luxman can't get too close, lest they feel the wrath of the ice and flashbang. And they felt the first part of it, and they don't even need the second, as they just instantly lose their life. The Bear now going to be getting chased down here by Drop, and I think I may have used Optimize a little bit loosely there, as right now this rush composition proving its value. Cosine does find its killer there against Revenge. Cosine's going crazy! Another Tracer Prodigy on Alpha? They're hoarding the Tracer talent on this roster, by the way. And now Rin, they're looking to find this Reinhardt as well. There's no lamp, was forced out way earlier in the fight. Already has the barrage, already has the data. Okay, can we talk about this? There should be a league investigation. How are we hoarding this much Tracer talent on one team?
I mean, I gotta be completely honest with you, Worst. I mean, Cosine just kind of took advantage of what Rin was putting out, right? Like, there's only so much that you can do on the ground to deal with flies that are zooming past your face over and over again. But let's not forget, Alucard already has the Deadeye online as well, and they're already up to 95%. It's not gonna take much for them to take this point.
Lucksmith gets found, but will be rolling away. You lose Cosign, you lose Pally, you lose your ball as well. This should be the point to close out unless Rin can pull off some magic, and that they cannot. The point going down a fight later than it most likely should have, or could have. But instead, they will still be taking that. And you're going to be sticking on this ball composition. It would seem you have ults coming up. But in the streets phase, I think this might be their best shot for it.
Yeah, honestly, it's the most room that they have to move, right? Especially when it comes to the ceiling for Rin and Palico, you know, they're going to have as much sky as they pretty much want with very narrow sight lines that they can shoot those powered rockets through. So it's really going to work out well for them, and the minefield Ore on point is going to be a good zoning.
You saw Alucard there was chasing down the Tracer in the bar, and instead it's O Canada who finds the kill. A little bit why do they get caught up in the bomb? That they do! Drop finds the bomb straight on top of Cosign's recall, and now D.Va doing D.Va's thing, gonna be jumping on that fair as fast as possible, going back to the team trying to save this Baptiste, a little bit out of position. Could see a collapse there, but that you won't. A nice anti-nade finds the tanks, and you can't even follow up and try to punish the Ana for it because you're too low drop. And now the barrage coming in looking for something. There's no DM to stop it. All that damage, you might not have seen any kill come out, but so much damage comes down there through that immortality field. The bomb going to be thrown in for good measure. Cosign again losing their life. A really nice job.
Ooh.
Oh, this might have happened.
Oh man, folks, start knocking on wood right now. I'm gonna be doing it myself. We've been hearing throughout the server that Overwatch has kind of been crap in the bed right now. So let's keep our fingers crossed, at least for the feature match, that we can hold on, that we will be blessed by Papa Jeff from the ether, that he'll come back just long enough to keep us going here. And it looks like we're just holding for right now. A little bit of a high ping situation, but it looks like we're good to go back in there. And, you know, the situation that we saw on point is what helped it work out for the side of Alpha, right? There was just so much damage once again coming in that it couldn't be dealt with. You saw every tool in the bank being utilized for every ultimate that was coming out for Alpha, and by the time it got to Rin and the barrage, it was too late. There was nothing that could be done. Drop had gotten demeched chasing after Heart, and you know, there was nothing to eat it. The immortality, although it saved them from dying, only delayed the inevitable. But thankfully, with this composition, they're able to kind of close the gap. Oh no!
The needle has been threaded right there. Amazing job from Heart to find that sleep and a massive anti to follow up. Now you have to solve this problem. Oh, Alucard did not take that sleep lightly, was quite angry about that sleep in fact, and instantly ran to the backline and decided, you're dying today, Ana, as the bear will get res back up, Rin, back on the case right now, but shouldn't do much with that D.Va in play. Lucksmith, though, does find a bomb kill right before that beat comes out, and I was going to say, how do you solve the issue of that beat? It's such a strong ultimate ability, and you really don't have anything to deal with it. Now you deal with it, you just kill someone before it even goes off and wait it out. A really nice job so far. Cosign again find themselves on the bad side of these cowboy flashbangs, and now Rin gonna have to be doing the best job to pick up the slack right now, and it's gonna be interesting to see how they do that. They do have the Nano Barrage available though.
Thanks for the assist.
Yeah, the hardest thing that they're dealing with right now is just the amount of damage that's coming in, right? There's only so much that you can do, and I think that that's why we see Tetra moving over to the Lucio, right? Just to create that additional AoE, but it's not going to do much against this Nano.
Yeah, the Nano comes out. Rin doesn't have any healing available to them, so they will be going down, but I mean, you did all the damage you needed to do on that fair there. You had the team kill come out, you'll have time to reset, and I did say that this second point would be the best opportunity for this ball composition. That's proven true so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even so much that Lucksmith is doing a whole lot with the area, although you see them zooming in and out and everywhere, and the fact that they haven't gotten caught just yet to be taken out has been impressive. Rin swapping over to the Echo, though, is going to prove much more deadly to Neon. They've already had an issue trying to deal with that.
Yeah, and the anti again. These antis I'm noticing are always coming out and finding at least two people. Most of the time the tanks as well. It's been so consistent here from Heart, and I really love that because it's so hard to find those consistent antis in Onyx, especially against the D.Va. The bomb does come out, forces out the lamp, forces out the cooldowns, and the squash right on top of the Reinhardt. Amazing, knowing that lamp is going to be going down, but Alucard not going to be left out of this just yet. Rin trying to find them before they can die, and that they do. And it's going to be a reset once again. 20 seconds and dropping here for NYAA. Cosine, don't die challenge, as they do succeed in that.
Yeah, Cosine's gonna be alright for now, but look at the utility that all those ultimates put out. Palico will have that Valkyrie coming up shortly, but you got the self-destruct coming in.
Really nice job to just Zoda. Again, two anti-nades coming down on the two anti-nades. Oh, you eat the dragon as well. Cosine again losing their life, trading their life for a pulse bomb onto that lamp. Don't let the card push in. Don't let this be a C9. The ball will make sure that's not the case. Oh, Canada as well, trying to secure it. Oh, Canada doing such a great job of not dying there. The Valkyrie coming out as well. And we Rin looking to take out Alucard, but they just can't quite do it. And this could be the chance for NYAA to finally find this point. The D.Va goes down, the rest comes out. Rin almost has their copy. Could be looking for that Reinhardt as the mines go out as well. Will be on the Reinhardt looking for something, anything. Alucard so low, looking for the shatter, finds it onto the back line, looking for the pin as well to find the kill. And Alpha has done an amazing job of bringing this back. Rin finding the amazing res coming out there from Pally to find Rin to build up another pulse bomb, not quite going where it's supposed to go. But again, to find Rin the res, Lucksmith stalling with those mines. Amazing team play here on that stall from Alpha, and this is why I think they should be on, they should be predicted like our #1 seeded team so far for Transcendence here. That was incredible.
Yeah, I really don't even know what to say about this other than the fact that it just comes down to target focus, right? NYAA had them in the pocket. They had them backed against the wall, and they let that little Mercy with her little healing beam continue to survive. And you just saw Palico Master constantly at far corners of the fight, just like, I'm just healing. Don't mind me, I'm just doing my thing, and you know, you can keep shooting at them, and I'm just here, and it's so cool. That's literally how Alpha was able to continue to hold on to this fight. Nobody focused on Palico Master, and nobody made sure that the rest of the healing that was being pumped into the team was keeping them at bay. It allowed enough time for Heart to get back into the action, for Rin to get back into the action, as that Echo had the duplicate online, the Nano going on to Cosine. It was just incredibly deadly left, right, and center. And now we're going to see them come out once again with this rush composition with the Lucio. And, you know, as we've been saying, Heart's been threading the needle all night, you know, just barely between DM and Shield being able to sleep the McCree in a millimeter of space. Anti-Nade's continuing to get two lives at a time. It has been insane. But let's see what Alpha does here on the attack.
Oh, keep your head down right there. And now that body shot, that's going to get followed up, forces out the lamp. Everyone's just forced back into this corner. You're going to have to be so low on DM, so low on shield. A really nice job. Cosine's sticking to the Widow, by the way. They're going to be looking for those angles right now. Oh, Canada is behind. You can't even force them out if you need it because you have to keep your front line back up. And Cosine is just here. Oh, you got to stay. Cosine! Cosine's crazy. A little bit of a lackluster performance on that transition towards the latter half of that point. But I mean, has been absolutely crazy so far on that Widow. Loses the duel to Alucard right there, but that's to be expected. The medium range duel does typically go to that Cowboy, but you did your damage. You found your 2 picks, and I expect maybe a swap, but that's some confidence right there to keep with that Widow.
Yeah, I mean, Cosine just had the room to move. The great thing about the Wrecking Ball D.Va composition is that they're well, just Alpha's composition in general, right? It's all about speed and all about playing, you know, slap the hero, basically. You know, you run by, you slap him, you say, hey, I'm right here, and then the next person runs by and slaps them and says, I'm right here, and it just keeps going. And you can't take all the damage at every angle that's coming in, and this Ant Matrix ain't gonna mean nothing once you end up seeing that barrage come out.
Rin actually went on the flank there.
There we go.
Yeah, Rin went on that flank behind to try and avoid the high noon and the window, and instead it gets found out in the, I guess 2v2 technically with that Mercy, by the Echo right there. And a really nice job at leveraging the fact that in the 1v1 duel in closer to medium ranges, the Echo is actually favored over the Pharaoh because of that burst damage with those sticky mines. So really nice job, but I mean, look at these ultimates, 5 ults available. I do want to see cosign swap though. I mean, I popped off, everyone heard me pop off for him, but I mean, it's going to be hard to find angles.
Yeah, it is going to be hard to find angles, but if they can just get through the choke, it'll pay off indefinitely. So, you know, they want to hold on to this because, you know, cosign has been doing a hero's work on that Widowmaker, seeing them take down over and over again. Ooh, self-destruct not finding much of anything, though.
I mean, yeah, cosign doing the damage. Ooh, Ana even getting in there, almost taking out that Echo as well. Mercy kind of forced that onto the side. Yep, you have to cross the distance. Such a linear motion there. If you are the Mercy with that Guardian Angel, and cosign's gonna snipe that down every single time. I mean, you tried to take out the Echo with that barrage. You don't quite find it, but I still think they should be able to win this fight, especially with that Nano going down onto that D.Va. You're gonna get stunned up, but you're gonna have so much damage coming out here on this front line, along with all that tankiness. And it's going to be so difficult here to push this D.Va off the point before the rest of your team can get in.
I gotta be honest with you, it might be short-lived though, but seeing Rin swap over to the Echo is gonna make this much harder. Bongos and Immortality down, and Zoner down too. Oh, this is gonna be a hard hold.
It's like the McCree has to look at so many threats right now. The Ball, the D.Va, the Echo. And now you actually, Nighthawk is like, guys, the Rin is such a threat. I have to copy the D.Va to try and get Rin right now. But in actuality, it's more so because it is probably the best target for them in this competition. Gonna be taking out that Ball, looking for the remake kill, doesn't quite find it. Does get T-Mech there, taken out of Echo form there, right before they can get that remake off. But now Alucard is still in a prime position. Ring over the assassination! An amazing job, something you just can't do on that Pharah. So much burst damage so quickly, you couldn't even see him with those healing. But now it's bound on the Zona. Zona getting headshot right there. Going so low, he's one shot. Red is cleaning up, mopping up here. And just has all the pocket in the world. Cosign swapping over to the Tracer. Gonna provide so much pressure on the ground as well. The Echo having to try and bounce back is gonna get taken out by Cosign as well. And that might just be this map, folks. Technically the series, of course, we will have that 4th map, but in all actuality, the win might be going over here to Alpha right now. The Lucio can't even touch, and there it is, the 3-0 for Alpha. Once again, asserting their dominance in this Transcendence tier. And another thing that's kind of scary going to Escort, I believe, from my sources, they have full held every single Escort map that they have played so far.
I believe so.
That's scary, man. That's scary. I mean, there's so many Escort maps where, like, I don't know, like, our pool, like, it shouldn't be that hard to get past first point for some of these maps, but so far they've just been so consistent. So, like, you saw, again, the control points. They hadn't dropped a control point before today, and now coming in, they have full held every Escort. I mean, this team is scary. Like, I'm scared. I'm glad I'm not playing anymore because I would be terrified going up against this team.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it comes down to Alpha's strategy, right? It's unpredictable, it's in your face, it's all over the place, and there's just not a really clear way to shut it down unless you're able to really follow everything that's going on. NYAA has been doing phenomenal, right? You know, you've seen Alucard trying to stun out the Wrecking Ball as many times as possible, but you just keep running into issues, right? There's only one flashbang. You can only sleep one target. And when you have 6 people rushing by you like it's freaking Naruto and just circling the wagons around you, it's really difficult to be able to lock down all of them, to be able to keep them off of your tushy. And you know, NYAA, you did great. You did phenomenal. I mean, you've definitely taken Alpha further than just about any other team we've seen do thus far in Stage 1. So you should definitely pat yourself on the back for that. But Needless to say, doing better than everyone else does not mean that you beat Alpha. That at the end of the day, it's gonna be Alpha's win, but you still have one last chance to take that final map off of Alpha. So are you going to allow another streak for Alpha to continue? Are you gonna let them full hold you first point of escort,
Man.
or are you finally gonna break through like you did on King's Row?
Oh no! Oh no!
Where are we going?
They picked Havana. They picked Havana. Oh no! This is like the most first holdable escort map I've ever seen in existence. This is
True.
This is not looking.
Yeah,
And this also does suit Alpha pretty well. I mean, with their kind of style. Maybe a little more towards that double shield with the snipers. But I mean, look at Cosine. Cosine played Widow and King Zero into a rush composition and found kills. I'm not worried about the snipers.
No, I totally agree with you there. I think the thing that I'm worried about though, right, is that if we're talking full hold on escort, right, 0% moved, we're looking at the rush matchup. All right, and Alpha has already shown that they got a little weakness in that area. All right, they're not going to be running the Wrecking Ball Diva to full hold outside of Havana first point. There's just not. They're not going to do that. So it's going to be about watching Alpha's movements. NYAA did a really great job of that on Busan. Let's see if they can do it again. There are 3 ways out of there. Let's see if they can find the one that catches Alpha on the back foot and allows them to get that payload move.
Okay, but imagine this, Jack. We just saw a team on Wrecking Ball on King's Row. Imagine if we see a Wrecking Ball Diva spawn hold on Havana.
I mean,
my mind
I don't have a hat,
explode.
but I don't have a hat right now. But I'd eat my hat. I would literally eat my hat.
My brain would turn to mush in an instant if I saw that. Like that is something I don't think I have seen once ever. Not even in comp. Not even in comp. Like I haven't seen that before. Okay, I don't think we'll be seeing that. I don't see a ball. Okay, it's gonna be typical.
I do
Havana
see a double
nonsense.
shield though.
It will be typical. Yeah, it will be typical Havana double shield, double sniper. Except I don't think Nighthawk will stay on that echo, right?
I wouldn't say that that's typical though, because if we're talking first point hold, or at least the way that it was said to us is that it was first point hold, as in the payload didn't go very far from where it started.
Well, I mean,
it was just 1-0 every time. Okay.
You just don't cap first point. Basically.
Gotcha. So we'll see. We'll see if they can make it happen. Widow's bowling alley is going to be dangerous for NYAA. I think they can do it.
But if they brought out Cosine already finding the kill, but again, if they brought out the Wrecking Ball Diva spawn hold, I would have that would have been crazy. But we don't do that. My brain stays intact as much as there's left in there from the years of Overwatch ranked. As much as there's left in there, it's gonna stay there. And right now, it's gonna be onto these snipers. I'm interested to see why does Nighthawk go for the Echo here, right? They're not pocketing it with the Mercy. It's gonna have it's like kind of acting like a vertical tracer almost, if you will.
And I think that's maybe the goal that Nighthawk is going for. They're just trying to get some creative angles and trying to create more opportunities for them to get by. And I figured it out why Cosine is so good at angles. It's because they're Cosine. Get it? Get it? Do you get it?
Yeah. I did trig about 3 years ago, and I don't remember any of it. So
I feel that. But looks like they've figured out the math for a little bit here.
Vampires was so good at trigonometry because they also have the angles.
Demon, but you know.
Well, I mean, Alucard is literally Dracula backwards. They're definitely a vampire, and vampires could be demons. But okay, I don't think we're gonna see the first point hold, guys. I mean, as
no
much
first
as we've been
point
talking,
here.
they broke the streak. You don't get to do it. Okay, really nice job from NYAA here so far. We kind of were like making all our puns and jokes there, and as we did it, they kind of quietly rolled through that first point with a pretty good time right now. As now it's the second point gauntlet, you know. What can you do about these snipers? They're going to be so entrenched. Can you find the flank? That's on Nighthawk. I might even expect a swap over to the Tracer because it's a lot easier to run that Tracer on this point than the first point, if you will.
That is true. I would like to see the swap over to the Tracer. We do see the Widow Visor duel going on right now, so everybody can see everybody. Nobody is hidden, and with Candle being the first one to go down, that's going to be a little difficult. Oh! Ooh, that's nasty, Ren.
That's some nice stuff right there. As Rin finds the kill onto Alucard, and again, it's gonna be up on these snipers. Really, you have them so entrenched that it's kind of hard to remove them without that flanking presence or just out sniping them, right? And that can be hard on the attack when they're hidden behind. They already know where you're coming from. You don't know where they are, and especially when you have Rin on Hanzo, Hanzo's just gonna sono arrow your Widow every single time. Cosign's playing on easy mode right now, and Alucard's playing on hard mode. As that's a massive good influx. The lamp is going to get forced out there, but Nighthawk helping out in that department, making it a little bit easier there for Alucard to get the space they need. Playing a lot like that Tracer would, try and look for the flanks onto the Widowmaker, and finds just that. It's going to Sigma boots down, going to be fighting for their life as they almost die there, but they will live. Oh, Canada managing to make it back, and actually Rin will be the one taken down as they try to pressure out this Orisa, but I don't know if they can. They can, alright. Oh, do it, do it! Let's go, Cosine! This is crazy. Dude, I'm hyped. I love watching this. This has been hyped.
Zoner's like, I'm done. I'm going for it. I'm going for the Widow. I don't care if I'm Baptiste. I'm the only one left, and I'm gonna try to get it. But needless to say, like, Cosine just has so much room to move right now. Like, that's literally what is working out for them, is that they just have so much flexibility. And honestly, Alucard needs to swap to the Tracer. They need to force Cosine off of this Widow because it is going to be so difficult. These narrow sight lines, they're not helping out NYAA at all.
Finally, there it is. We see the swap over to the Tracer. Going to be a lot easier to move. Like, the Tracer can blink past these chokes where the Echo is going to be, like, look at this, already on top of the Widow. Whether they can kill the Widow or not is, like, negligible, right? It's all about forcing the Widow out of their position, forcing them to have to move, forcing them to have to look somewhere that isn't Alucard's head hitbox, right? And we're going to see what they can do with this flux on the aggression. You're going to have this Brig. That's going to put a lot of members out of headshot range for this Widowmaker. But not the Widow. A little bit on the outside. Almost gets their head taken off. The flux going out from both sides. Everyone's doing a little bit of do the flop right now as everyone's going up and down. As Cosine does mention the life, a nice body shot plus Candle finishing it off. And now they have the high ground. They're going to be pushing on down. But do they push a little bit too far? They have the Transcendence to try and match this. And now you have the Baptiste shooting so much damage. Ooh, the Brig was won. A nice swap there from Heart, instantly seeing who's low and taking him out. Ren comes back, takes out that Widowmaker, but the Tracer still on the field, the last one around. But can they do anything here against three people? No, they can't. Oh, Canada finishing off with a punch. And again, resetting back to that position where there's no ultimates. They have defender's advantage with these double sniper setup. It's going to be a pain to get through this.
That's true, but if NYAA can get in quickly, this is the one advantage that they will get throughout this entire brewery phase, right? They have to push in now, but you know, the moment was quick and they let it pass them by. The healers are already back, and ooh-wee, those ultimates getting ready to come online again.
Like, I feel so bad for Alucard right now. He's playing against two snipers, both of which who know his position basically every time he peeks because of that sonar arrow. That's why this comp is so good. You can't find consistent off angles as the Widow. And now you have just free space. You're looking. The snipers are hunting down the Tracer right now. They have so much confidence. Right? There's no threat on them. And Ren finding another kill. I don't know how he's doing it. Nighthawk is just cowering in the back like, guys, please pick me up from daycare. And this, again, all this said, like, I'm not bashing NYAA. They're a good team. Like, they're a really good team. But it's just so hard to play into Alpha when you're not, like, basically playing as good as Alpha is, right?
Well, you have to remember that they were a Discord team last season too, so you know they're gonna try their best. These dragons are gonna get zoned, are gonna zone very well.
What are you doing there if you're Baptiste, right?
Limb. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, he's okay. He is in the back line, face checking a Brig and a Baptiste by himself on Hanzo, and I mean he's just kind of cracked. What can you say? And again. Once again, not coming up from the Discord tier. They have had a good season so far. Like, again, this isn't like... it's just Alpha being Alpha. This is kind of what we expect from Alpha in the sense of, like, last season, if they didn't drop some spaghetti on the floor in the playoffs, mayhaps, like, they would have kept up that dominance. that would have been a completely different story of that season, right? It wouldn't have been like Godhand coming back in form and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, this season they're trying to remedy that situation, right? This one would be like season 7. Last season should have been our season. Now this is going to be our season, right?
Yeah, and I know technically they didn't hold first point, but this was pretty much a first point hold. I mean, you gotta look at how far the payload got. It didn't even get past the first choke going into Objective Bravo, getting under that underpass. So, I mean, it's essentially a first point hold. What we're seeing right here is essentially NYAA on the back foot. They have to hold first point. If they do not hold first point, they don't have it. They just don't have it to be able to hold second point the way that we saw from Alpha right now. And this is going to be a learning experience. I'm not saying that NYAA can't continue to learn and grow and be able to make it to the level of play that we're seeing from Alpha by the time that the playoffs come around, if they can make it that far. But right now, although they have been shown to be the biggest threat thus far, it has not worked out for their favor yet.
Yeah, like I don't expect many teams to be that big a threat to Alpha. Just because Alpha's on another level. Again, Cosine just finding the angle, they're rushing down the spawn door. They kind of can't remember that Cosine's there, right? Because they have to focus on this task of pushing the spawn door. They can't remember, oh yeah, there's a Widow behind us, just gonna shoot us in the back of the head if we ever are out of position. And the D.Va's trying their best, but they can't really do much. They've lost their Baptiste, and that's the spawn hold gone in about 30 seconds. So, I mean, it's some amount of time, but I mean, look at Hard's like ultimate charge. Like that's what you give up for that spawn hold, right?
Yeah, well, the goal is that the spawn hold works, right?
For at least like a minute to like 2 minutes.
For at least a minute, you win the first fight, so that you at least shave that first minute off the clock. But Cosine's getting boosted up by Palico, not like they really need it, to be completely honest, but gets that little extra damage in on the tanks, and they're just looking for that head to click. And if they don't do something about Cosine quickly, or at least the rest of the team, so they can focus on Cosine, oh man, Alucard going down. Candle, no!
Can you focus on Cosine when Rin is getting damage boosted by a Mercy in your backline? What can you do? You can't stop Rin. Rin is it's so difficult because you have to worry about this dual threat DPS duo, and it's a DPS duo that we've seen glimpses of. We've seen glimpses of in past Tranquility. Like we've seen these glimpses of these amazing DPS duos, but they've never really. I don't think.
This is just rude.
Not even. Kind of sad.
That's just rude. It's just absolutely rude right there. So I'm gonna make my last pun because we know that this fight is pretty much over. Would you say that it seems that NYAA lives their life like a candle getting beaten by Rin? Yeah, there you go for all you Elton John fans out there. I got you, baby. That went completely over my head as a zoomer extraordinaire. I'm an Overwatch boomer, but a real life zoomer, so that did not apply to me in the slightest. It's okay.
But even our producers
Yeah, well, I had to try to get some out there. They were doing it in Contenders a couple days ago with some Beatles stuff. So, give some love to the good old Overwatch boomers out there. But man, yeah, go get patched up, fam. You did your best. You fought hard. I mean, it was the fact that you took took one control map off of Alpha. And you kept let's do the technicality. You technically did not get held on first point of Havana.
You broke
the streak. You broke 2 of the streaks that Alpha's running right now. Unfortunately, you didn't break the most important one, which was beating them, period. So, needless to say, you will get another chance. We know that day will be coming, whether it be during stage 2 or the playoffs, but worst. you just got to wonder, looking at, I'm going to take a minute to look and see who else is in this pool for the next couple of weeks, because right now, Alpha is just looking unstoppable right now.
Yeah, I don't know who seeded these groups. Blame
it's all
them.
random. It's all random usually.
Just take your nearest set of dice and just like look at them very, very dishearteningly and be like, "Why did you forsake me now? Of all times, why am I in?" Well, isn't it that if they're in this pool with Alpha now, they can't get them later?
It depends. It depends on how things. It depends on how things shake out with like seeding and whatnot.
I'm trying to look for a positive here, man. I'm trying to help.
I definitely feel you there, and I'm looking through here to see if I can find some of their, who their next match is. Oh, it's gonna be Bird Society Ibis. Okay. Possibly. Yeah, our producer Booth, who's been doing an amazing job tonight, will get that to us. But nevertheless, folks, it has been a heck of a night. And honestly, if that is the last team for Alpha to fight, which is Bird Society Ibis, we remember them from last season. They came in mid-season and didn't do so hot, which is expected. But looking at it right now, I think they might. Let's take a look at Alpha stats right here and see who they've got left. Oh, actually, they Ore 4-0'd Ibis, and Cobalt hasn't been doing so hot. So, well, congratulations, Alpha. You got the perfect stage once again.
But imagine!
I hate to say it. You know what? But I'm gonna still throw some love Cobalt's way. But you got a heck of a hill to climb. Even if you're gonna take one map off this team, NYAA has come the closest of all 5 of you. So I hope you're ready. That's all I got to say. But before we close out the night, we do have to throw it to a player of the match. Who do you have in your sights tonight?
As much as in my soul, I want to say my heart. I can't, because Rin is a nasty player. Like so many levels. Like here's the problem with picking a MVP of Alpha is they're all MVP caliber players, right? Like they're all like any of these players on any team would be like, oh, I love having this player on my team, and they put them all on one team. I think there should be a league investigation into player tampering. But hey, I'm just a caster. I don't have administrative power. But Alpha looks incredible. I'm gonna give it to Ren, because Ren, great, unbeatable in the Tracer duel today. Like I don't think they lost a single Tracer duel. Kind of cracked of a player, honestly.
Yeah, I also want to give some love to Hart, but I think I'm gonna have to give it to Palico Master, to be honest with you, just because Palico was playing heroes that could stay out of the way a lot more, and was really being sneaky on that Mercy 9 times out of 10. And whenever you saw them pick up the shield and flail as Brig, it was done. It didn't matter who was coming by, who was trying to get their backline. Palico was there, ready, standing tall, as that Brigida, keeping their support safe from everything that was being thrown at them. So Palico, you're walking away with my player of the match tonight. But don't you worry, folks. Even though this was a very fast one, we do have more matches coming up this week. Tomorrow night we have Reminiscence versus Flying Lions in the Discord tier. That's definitely a matchup you want to be watching. Flying Lions got their first win last week. Finally got a taste for the victory, taste for the dub, and Reminiscence is going to be a tough one to take down. So it's going to be interesting to see. And then after that, you're going to find my beautiful face once again with Gizmo Charmander on the beach, where we are going to be interviewing some of the amazing players of the Tranquility community. Some of them actually being from the feature match tomorrow night. So be sure to tune in for that. That's going to be right after your feature match. And then what's on Monday?
It's going to be The Irish podcast.
Yeah,
Don't worry, didn't forget it. Brain farts happen all the time, people. I was like, is there something on Monday? Yeah, I got class on
every
Monday,
Monday.
but
There's
also
always
Irish
something on Monday.
podcast, the greatest podcast to watch for Overwatch Tranquility news and shenanigans.
Yeah, absolutely true. And then after the Iris podcast, if you're one of those teams that's like, oh, they never talk about my team on the Iris podcast, well, that's okay, because we got a show for you. It's called Predicting Tranquility, run by producer Booth, and their team of sleuths that are always out there figuring out how the matches are going to tune out. I hear that there's going to be some actual comparisons coming up in this show, so it's going to be interesting to see whether or not those that have been predicting on the content creation team have been doing a good job at their research, or if some folks out in the community have actually been popping off a little harder on those predictions. And then you've got next Tuesday, rather, you've got the Harmony tier matchup at 8:30 Eastern time with Jetpack Cats versus the Jersey Boys. And then you're back here on Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Skybox. Wait, what? Now I'm totally confused. Oh no, sorry, it was Cobalt. We thought it was Ibis. It's late. I haven't taken my prune juice tonight. It's rough. Skybox versus Bird Society Ibis going down in the Transcendence tier. And I did forget, if you haven't been watching Coach's Corner on Tuesday night after the feature match, what are you doing? First off, you get to see the lovely Juggle God. I mean, who doesn't love seeing some Juggle God, right? And they meet up with coaches from the Tranquility community, from Pico, and all over the place to come and dissect one of the matches that you saw during the feature from the last week. And, might give you a couple of strats. So honestly, this would be one of those matches I'd want to be seeing, maybe dissecting why Alpha, especially on a map like Kings Row, is so incredibly powerful with that Wrecking Ball Diva composition. Definitely something you want to be looking into. And then we want to remind you, as always, it is September. So 20% off any subscription. So be sure to hit that sub button and ding that bell so you get notified. If you don't got the money, that's fine. You can hit that sub or hit that follow button rather, and show us how much you love us that way. And then I think the only remaining thing to remind you of is that 2 weeks from now, it's event week, baby. We take a little break from the tournament, have a lot of fun, raise some money for Rise Above the Disorder, a great charity that we've been supporting for a couple of seasons now. Last season, if you weren't paying attention on the Iris podcast, $10,000 was raised by our amazing community. We just a tier 4 group of members that just hit 3,000 people in our Discord, and we're just able to move mountains with the amazing stuff that we can do. So be sure to be contacting your GM if you're on a team. They should have all the ways that you can sign up, or eventually you'll be able to fight one of us content creators by donating $10 and signing up for the 1v1. You really should go for Artemis. She's not expecting it, and it would totally be funny to watch from my end, so you really should do that. I love you, honey. All right, so that's all I got for tonight. Why don't you go ahead and wrap us on up?
Yeah, again, thank you all for being here for the Transcendence match tonight. Again, Jack just went over all the things you can catch up, keep your Tranquility content flowing. There's a lot going on, man. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in this little tier 4 tournament. Love this place. Love being here. Love being a part of it. Love event week as well. I'm so hyped for event week. Last year, first year casting the tournament, and then got $10,000 on top of it, casting amazing things like the Torb 1v1, the Torb Hammer Battle Royale that we got to cast. We were doing skin analysis, me and Jack, and
I mean,
it was lovely.
To do with the Torb battle, right? Because it's not about how you hit the angle with the hammer. It's all about the skin. It's the intimidation with the skin that you bring to the field. So thank you so much once again to Producer Booth for doing the amazing job that you always do on production. From all of us here at the Tranquility community, that's worse. My name's Captain Jack. We'll see you all next time.